Ty, how would you kind of rate this win tonight for you guys? Was this because before the game you said you wanted a professional win? Did this meet that standard for you?
Not really defensively. I thought, we wasn't physical enough. We wasn't in the bodies. I thought we got lost a lot with our bracket coverages. But that came from being off the bodies and not being physical. I thought the second unit came in the first half and gave us a lift with the physicality. It kind of got us going. But overall, I thought their movement and us getting to the bodies and being physical, we didn't do a good job with that.
Ty, with Norm and some of the ups and downs that he's gone through since coming back from injury, do you feel like it is just him finding his way again, or do you feel like it's a combination of that with him fitting in around kind of a fully healthy team for the first time all season?
I mean, well, you like I said, Norm's done a great job, like I said, all year, just carrying his team offensively. And then, like I say, he got the injury. But it's not like just about Norm. Like, our team is playing better. Kawhi's playing better. James is playing better. Zoo. And so, we need Norm, in the biggest way. And so, like I said, just getting his touches, just getting his rhythm back, finding his flow in the offense. But he's very important to what we're doing and has been all year, And so when you're off for a month, it's going to take you a little time to get back in the flow of things, which I know he will, like he did last game. We're in Cleveland. He was huge and, made some big shots for us in Orlando. So, really not worried about Norm. He's going to be great. But like I said, it's just more so our team is playing better. And so, everybody's like kind of distributing the shots.
Ty, when you guys have 6 players in double figures, how important does that make you guys?
Yeah, we talked about it at halftime. Just, when you're not playing, really good offense and it looks nasty out there and you still have 59 points at halftime, that's a sign of a decent team, But, we know we got to clean up a few things and be better in that regard. But I thought overall, offensively we made the right play. They double-teamed the post with Zoo and Kawhi. We made some good passes and good plays, had our spacing right, which we need to keep getting better with. But, overall I thought, we did a decent job.
So they started the game with Kelly Olynyk, like he was on Chris Dunn, but not really on Chris. Like Chris got a chance to get shots, be aggressive. Like when teams are going to play like that, put a big on Chris, give him all the space. How do you want him to play? Like, do you want him to shoot at all of those open shots? You want him to drive? Like, how do you tell Chris to proceed when guys are playing like him, like you saw tonight?
It just depends on how the flow of the game goes. I think, he shot 3 for 5 from 3, which is 60%. And so if they're going to leave him open, he's going to make those shots, then, we got to just keep passing him the ball, And so Chris understands the game, and if he's not making shots, he knows how to get to the next action, throw it, comes to another pick, and now their man's in the paint, so you got Kawhi, Norman James coming off, and they're going to be open. So just playing the game, just reading the game. If he has a good flow and a good rhythm shooting the basketball, if not, just get to the next action and then be ready to pop and shoot it again, So he understands that part. But I like his shot. Like I said, if teams are going to guard him like that, he has to be confident to step up and take those shots. And when he's knocking them down, we're a different team.
Coach, in that fourth quarter, New Orleans extended their defense, especially against the second unit, and it seemed like they sped you guys up, forced some turnovers. When you think about some of the teams tops the West, the OKCs, the Houstons who play physical defense, they pick up 94 feet. How does things like that help prepare you guys for some of those teams top the West, given that you guys do make the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good for us to, understand how we got to play, how we got to escape, the ball pressure. And like I said, especially with that second unit, if James or KD's down on the floor, you don't have a traditional point guard on the floor. So just having different ball handlers, understand what we want to run and what we want to get into offensively. We just got to do a better job with that.
Coach, in the era, in the era where there's so much emphasis predicated upon the value of three-point shooting, your team is a band of misfits, ranking in the top 5 in shots taken and made from the 10 to 16-foot area. Can you talk to me about the value of the mid-range and how it enhances and opens things up for your offense?
Yeah, I think you just got to take what the defense is giving you. And now in the last, 7, 8, 9 years, teams have been going to the deep drop, which is allowing, guys to be able to get to the mid-range pull-up, 2-point shot. And so why not master what teams are giving up? And so, like I said, our team does a good job of just taking what the defense gives us. We can take threes, but we do have some good mid-range shooters as well. So you can't just be, 3 or rim. It just doesn't work that way. So you got to take what the defense gives you. And like I said, we do a good job of mixing it up.
Hey, Coach, just how privileged do you feel just having a team where you can play go 10 deep this late in the season, where a lot of teams are already got to their 8-man, 9-man rotation. Just how privileged do you feel?
Feel really privileged. We have a good team. Like I said, a lot of guys deserve to play, but you can't play, 13, 14 guys. And so it takes a lot of sacrifice. We cut our rotation down to 9, and so, with Amir being out, we just, like I said, we're at 9 right now. And so I think guys get into a better rhythm. They get more minutes. And then you can also, mess with the rotations a little bit when you're playing 9 guys. So we know going into the playoffs, you want to have a set 9. And then if you got to go 8, you got to go 8. But right now I'm pretty confident where we're at.